All right, hello. We were actually working on this particular um, experiment here. And so if you remember, we took this data, and I'm just going to go ahead and take this data over to a data file. And once I take this over to a data file, I'm going to open it in graphical. So graphical being right here. Okay. Now in graphical, this is going to open up, and as you can see, we have 10 points here. The main thing that we're concerned with is the table, because we're going to process this in Microsoft Excel. So now here's our table, and we're going to go ahead and share this with Microsoft Excel. And you should see it come up here shortly. There it is. Go ahead and select that. Microsoft Excel is up there, okay? So here's our data. I'm going to go ahead and select Convert and Edit right here. And once I convert it and edit it, I want to put this into my initial velocity folder. So hopefully you have a physics folder in Dropbox, and you can just put it into Dropbox. If you don't have it linked to Dropbox, that's okay. You can just put it on your OneDrive. As you can see, I have all of my stuff hooked up here, and I am not going to put it in there. I'm just going to go ahead and go to initial velocity, projectile motion, and as you can see, I have a bunch of initial velocity here, and I'm just going to leave this as initial velocity Saturday day class. So I'm going to save that there. And you already have this information, so I'm just kind of trying to make place. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. This is time. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. So we have time, we have x, we have x velocity, and we also have y velocity. So let's go ahead and get rid of let me hide this time column. And we also hide these two columns here, and that was our velocity columns. Okay, so we'll just work with our x velocity and our y velocity. I mean, not x velocity, but our y displacement and our x displacement. So the first thing that we want to do is let's just go ahead and group our data. This cell right here is going to be our initial position. And then if we go down to where that cell appears to be repeating, which is right here, the cell before it is going to be our final position. So I'm going to go ahead and color each one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a color, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. So you'll see I start at 0.000483, and then I end at 0.39. And look, it'll repeat here, 0.0099966, and then we just keep going like so. So let me go ahead and change this color. And I'm going to do that again. I'll change that one to yellow, and I'm just going to keep right on down until I get all of these points in. And the reason why I'm doing this is so I can distinguish what I'm working with. It'll probably be easy to get lost. Still grabbing my data here. Let me go to yellow here. Should stop soon. And then this is my last set right here. And with my last set, I'll just go ahead and make that just yellow. All right, so let me go back to the top. And to make it a little bit easier, because we don't have the same amount of points for each one, I want to hide the points in between the first and the last So I'm going to do that. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to delete the points between the first and the last point. I'm going to do that for each one of these sets. So I should only end up with 2 numbers for each one. Sometimes it'll be 3, maybe sometimes it'll be 4. It depends on your data set. So I'm deleting this one. Like this one had 4. The last one's had 3. This set has 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to delete that one as well. And this one has 3. 1, 2, 3. Just going to keep on doing that. I'm going to show you why I'm doing that in just a second. It's just to ease the calculations, that's all. Bring this down like so and delete it. All right. So between each one of these sets of points, I'm just going to insert a row above. And that's going to be where we do our calculation. So I'll do that all the way down. Uh-oh, that's the wrong one. All right, here, insert above. So now I'm going to calculate. And I'm going to double tap on that cell and select 1, 2, 3 right here. And once I select 1, 2, 3, I'm just going to say equals to. And once I choose equals to, I want to select 39.39565 minus 0.000484. So select that, subtract this one, okay? And then I'm just going to hit return. So I want to go back and let me go ahead and do this. I want to go back and I want to give this thing some kind of unique color. Let me make it red, okay? And so now that that's red, now that we've done that calculation, I'm just going to tap on it and I'm going to select fill right here. When I select fill, I can just drag this to the right and it's going to fill to the right. So not only is it calculating the displacement for me in the x direction, which is here, but it's also calculating the displacement in the y direction, which is here. Okay. So now I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go down to this next row, and then I'm just going to paste it. And it should do these calculations for me immediately. So that's why I was going through all of that before, just to be as systematic as possible. And these numbers should not be the same. They should be close, but not the same. And the last row is going to be the same. All right? So we know that all of those red values are the values that we want. So in the next column, we want to put in average displacement in the x direction. Okay, I think that'll do. And that's going to be in meters. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one. All right. And so I could also just select center as well as middle. Okay. So just in case you didn't see what I did when I said wrap, I am picking this type, this pop-up, and it says unwrap, so I can unwrap it or I can wrap it. Just going to drag this over a little bit. All right, so that's good. So now I'm just going to tap in here. I'm going to say equals to, and I'm going to go in and type in average. And you'll see that average, the function average pops up over here. So I'm going to select that. And you'll see number 1. And so at number 1, I'm going to go ahead and select my first number here. And that's 0.395169. Then I'm going to go on down and select my second number here. And I'm just doing that for the first 3 right now. Then I'm going to select my third number here. And then I'm going to go back to 1, 2, and 3 right here. I'm going to say 1, 2, and 3. And with that, I'm going to hit my comma. Select this comma. And then I'm going to go on down to not B10, but B13, comma. Select that comma again. And then B16, and then comma. B19, comma. B22, comma. B25, comma. B28, comma. And then the last one, B31. And all I'm going to do now is just select this check mark, and it's going to average up all of these numbers for us. All right. So they're giving us an average of about 0.39570. All right, we can't measure all the way down there, but we can measure 3 decimal places out. With the ruler that we actually had, it was a millimeter, so millimeters are going to go to the 3rd place. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to go up to General here. And once I select General, I'm going to go down to Number, and I'm going to actually select this information. And then I'm going to go ahead and increase this by 1 more decimal place, so that's good. Then I can just return. So now we end up with 0.396. These are our significant digits, okay? And so now we have our average displacement in the x direction. So the next thing we want to do is we want to do our average displacement in the y direction. So I think I just want to copy this. Copy, and I'll just paste it. And so I'll go up here and just change this x to y. Okay? So now we know that this is the average displacement in the y direction. So guess what we can do? We've already done all of our work as far as finding the averages here. Notice that the y is right next to it. All I have to do is do my fill command, and I can just drag this over to the right, and it's going to do that calculation for me. All right, very powerful. So now we have our average displacement in the x direction and our average displacement in the y direction, and I probably will stop right there, and I'll do another video to include the time, just in case this one breaks. I don't want to have to start all the way over.